So I want to talk for a second about how dumbbells might help you in your training. If you're somebody who is a barbell dominant lifter, I know that I still am, and I definitely was. I CrossFit for 10 years, and all you're really doing, the biggest focus is dumbbell lifts, Olympic lifts, power lifts, that type of thing, where we're always using barbells to build strength. Recently, CrossFit has started to incorporate a little bit more dumbbell training, dumbbell movements in their programming, which is good for diversity. And it's also going to be good for muscular imbalances. And the biggest reason that I like dumbbells and incorporating dumbbell training is to sort of counteract those muscle imbalances. Going back sort of to the barbell work, if you're somebody that trains whether exclusively with a barbell or you favor a barbell, which most people do, that's the case for most people, inevitably you're going to develop muscular imbalances. We all have sides that are stronger than others, limbs that are stronger than others. You might know you can press more weight with one arm than the other. If a squat gets heavy, let's say you're back squatting, front squatting, whatever, and the weight starts to get heavy, it starts to get to be a grind. You feel yourself favoring one leg more than the other to lift that weight. If you're a deadlifter or do deadlifts, not a deadlifter, but you incorporate a lot of deadlifts, whether it be heavy deadlifts or volume deadlifts, and you mix grip. In other words, one palm faces in, one palm faces out, which is going to help grip on that barbell. If that's how you deadlift and you don't deadlift with a double overhand grip, inevitably you're going to develop imbalances in your core, in your erectors, because you are pulling with two different movement patterns. So, with one palm facing out, one palm facing in, inevitably you're going to be pulling a little bit differently. That weight isn't going to be distributed quite as evenly. And that's just a result of the particular grip you're using, so that you have a stronger grasp on the bar itself. Where dumbbells come in, all right? Dumbbells do not allow you to cheat, okay? They really help with unilateral movement. In other words, you have to use each limb, each side independently to move the same amount of weight. If I'm lifting 35-pound dumbbells overhead, right, I have to press 35 with one arm and I have to press 35 with the other arm. There's no weight dispersion where I can do 40 to 45 pounds on one arm and then the remainder of that 70 pounds on the other arm. With a barbell, I can do that. So you do that over time. With a barbell, you're going to exacerbate those muscle imbalances. Now, I still use a barbell 4 to 5 times a week. I love barbell lifting. I do a lot of back squats, a lot of deadlifting, a lot of bent over rows, that sort of thing. So, you're still going to get potentially some of those muscular imbalances, skeletal imbalances, that sort of thing. But incorporating dumbbells with the training, so supersetting dumbbell work with barbell work, is really going to help focus on balancing out your frame, balancing out your body. It's going to take sort of your musculature, your imbalances, and it's going to, while we're moving that barbell and potentially, continuing to push those muscular imbalances, the dumbbell is going to have to sort of counterbalance that, okay? Because again, we have to use equal amount of strength on each side, each limb, to lift those dumbbells. What I've noticed is that over time, with incorporating dumbbell lifts into my circuit, so barbell supersetted with dumbbell or just dumbbell exclusively, depending on kind of what I'm doing that day, those imbalances are going to start to work themselves out. And that's what I've noticed, and that's kind of the goal. If you refuse to, take time to address those imbalances, they're only going to get worse, and you're going to set yourself up for injury. And that's the biggest thing. Is it's not so much that an imbalance is a problem in our lifts. Mentally, if we can still move the weight, we tend to be okay. The problem is, as we start to get heavier and heavier and heavier, certain joints are going to take a lot more of the load And then you're gonna start breaking down one side more than the other. Your gait is gonna change. Maybe a shift in your hips, a shift in your pelvis, shift in the collarbone, maybe a slight curvature in the spine, that sort of thing. So over time, that stuff starts to add up. So don't be afraid to incorporate dumbbells. When using dumbbells, just because you have one side stronger than the other doesn't mean that you need to use two different weight dumbbells. And I used to tell people I used to tell people this all the time when I was training them. If I can press 35 pounds on one arm easily, and it's a struggle to press 35 pounds on the other arm, don't go heavier on one arm and lighter on the other to get sort of equal strength, right? You have to change how you lift that weight, how you lift that dumbbell. So if my right arm is stronger than my left arm, okay, maybe I strict press that dumbbell with one arm, and I maybe push press it with the other, okay? The idea is that we don't want to further the imbalances, and you can do that with dumbbells too, is if I have an imbalance already, and I sort of take advantage of that imbalance by lifting more weight on one side with a dumbbell and less weight on the other, then I'm just, exacerbating that problem. Don't do that. Okay, so take the same dumbbell and just change how you lift that weight on each side. If it's easier on one side, don't give yourself any extra help with like a push press or, if it's lunges or whatever the case may be. Keep everything the same. Okay, you're not going to lose strength on one side, and that's not going to make you weaker. Okay, you're strengthening your weaker side to catch up to the other side, so that when you go back to the barbell work, everything seems more uniform, and that's kind of the idea. So when you're thinking about dumbbell work, don't think about it as going too heavy. Don't overdo the dumbbells. You want to keep dumbbells at a weight where you can control the movement, and you want to make sure that you're using dumbbells that are the same weight on each side. Don't further your imbalances. You want to kind of even out those imbalances. So, with the programs that I have, the HIIT Strength program, the Home Bodies program, dumbbell work tends to be the focus, and that's simply because, especially in the HIIT program, with all the barbell volume that we do, we don't want to create imbalances. We want to make sure that along the way, we are accounting for the potential for imbalances, and we're supersetting a lot of dumbbell work to sort of balance the body out, balance the musculature out, that sort of thing. So take advantage of dumbbells. The biggest thing about dumbbells, the most important thing to remember about dumbbells is they do allow for unilateral movement. We're taking any discrepancies that we have in strength from one side to the other, in joints from one side to the other, whether it be pain, uneven gait, that sort of thing. And we're basically trying to balance those out. So if you don't incorporate dumbbells, look into incorporating dumbbells. Check out some of the programs that I have to offer. All of them are real sort of dumbbell focused in a lot of ways. And hopefully the idea is that it'll kind of help you counteract some of those problems that you might have developed over the years. And again, I know that it's helped me. So I think, it's something that everybody can take advantage of, and it's going to help you too.